Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Connor Reynolds, and this is the Nerdic Gods podcast, episode 247. Joining me, as always, Daniel Neveroli.
What's up, gamers?
Hi, Danny.
What's up?
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, we're recording on Halloween Day.
It's great. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's my favorite holiday, actually.
Is it?
Other than, like, Thanksgiving's a weird one because some people just don't like talking to their family, but Thanksgiving you get a lot of food. So
Yeah.
that's also up there, too.
Yeah.
But this is the best season, the fall
The
season.
vibes.
So Halloween's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to watch horror movies, you get to dress up, you get candy. Like, there's always fun parties to go to, things like that. Like, Halloween's just great.
You got any good costumes when you were a kid?
I was a kid. Definitely superhero stuff. I dressed up like the Red Ranger one year, and then this is in the 90s, of course.
Of
So
course,
Power
yeah.
Rangers
Yeah.
so big. One year I was a ninja. Of course, ninjas were so cool. I mean, when you're a kid, there's like nothing cooler than a ninja.
Especially back then, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did Batman once. One year
Vengeance.
as an adult, I dressed up like Walter White. I might have
Did you?
talked about this before. Like
No, I don't think so.
I grew out not much because like I didn't have enough time for the facial hair. I didn't think that far ahead. But I like cut everything but like this to get like his like facial hair, Walter
Goatee,
White's facial
yeah.
hair. Yeah, the whole goatee. And I shaved everything else. I did like more the sunglasses and then the hat. And then I had like a dress shirt and then like his
The
jacket that he would
Heisenberg
have.
look. Sure.
More the Heisenberg look.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of what
yeah.
I went for.
Oh, yeah. Was Stallone Jesse?
Sloan was not there. I took my siblings out. I forget. I don't remember what they
One of them
were.
up as Jesse.
Sloan is definitely is not Jesse. Sloan was a Skylar. He has long hair. He was Skylar for sure.
A bitch. Slept with Ted, didn't you?
Yeah,
you Sloan. Yeah, I think. You know, it's funny. I don't remember when I was like older. I remember the kid ones, but I remember Wolverine one year. That was fun.
Cool.
Had the claws. That was dope. Vader, of course. Star Wars.
Oh
fan.
yeah, I don't know as much
Vader.
of a Star Wars kid as I was. I don't know if I ever dressed up like a Jedi or anything.
Yeah, I probably did Vader the same year Revenge of the Sith came out. If I had to guess.
All right.
Would have made me like what
Middle school?
year was that movie? 2005, right?
5, yeah.
Yes, I was 10. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I did like a werewolf one year. I don't know.
It's always cool. That's the classics.
Yeah,
the monsters.
classic werewolf. I
was probably a
think
vampire
werewolves were
one
big
year.
back then. You know, I'm trying to think what the hell. Why would I have been a werewolf? Maybe I just wanted to be a
Twilight?
werewolf. Maybe I feel like that was a little later. No,
It was like 07 for Twilight. For
was
the
it
movie.
07?
I think the first movie
one?
was 07.
I don't think I would have been in Twilight.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did Dracula one year, like a vampire.
Hell yeah. Get the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Glow in the dark teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween is just a good fucking time, you know?
Yeah. It's good for kids. It's good for adults. Like some holidays, it's like, it's better for one or the other. Like Christmas, adults can celebrate Christmas and have fun. It's more of a kid's holiday.
100%.
It's about the kids getting the presents. Thanksgiving, that's kind of an all-around one,
I mean,
too.
majority of holidays are just a reason to get together and eat food. You
Exactly.
know? Halloween
Yeah.
is at least something different.
Yeah, and it's something kids, adults can go get drunk and have fun at a party.
Right.
Or kids can go out and like get candy and stuff. Pro tip though, if you're a kid, you make sure you're getting pillowcases for your candy bag,
Ooh.
and way you can fill up more instead of those.
Yeah.
The pumpkin ones are classic, but you can't put much candy in that.
Nah.
I'm going around
get shit in
getting
there.
as much candy as possible.
Yeah. I want to puke by the end of the night.
I'm gonna try to revisit houses that I think have best candy, see if they'll give me more.
Again, slightly different outfit.
Yeah, take off the mask or something, or put a jacket on. Yeah,
Right.
always find the house with the candy bars. And you try to go there as much as you can.
Man, you gotta go find the rich neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but sometimes the rich ones will give you apples, and that's like
Those fucks.
I love apples, but don't give that
just because like some fucking dentist works there,
Yeah,
or
it's
lives
a
there.
dentist,
And it's like,
for
ah,
sure.
you motherfucker, like, get
we
out of here.
did. It's funny you said dentist because our
Here's a mini
dentist,
toothpaste. Like, fuck you.
I was getting one year there was a dentist that was giving away like toothbrushes,
Yeah.
and he just was giving one to every kid. That was the
Here's a
What
pack
a
of floss,
loser.
kids. Like, oh,
Yeah,
get
a
out of here.
loser.
You know kids flossing.
Thanks.
All right. Daniel, been a busy week world of video games.
Yeah, especially for layoffs everywhere again.
You know, we're just going through it, you know.
GameSpot.
You got to get your last ones in before the year's over, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
GameSpot, more studio
Oh
closures.
yeah, on the media side or studio
Yeah.
closures. Did they did that company, because I know it's like a giant overhead company that
Yeah,
owns all
Fandom.
that yeah, did they close down other or lay off other companies besides
It seemed like
GameSpot?
everyone got hit.
Everyone got it, yeah,
But I don't know
unfortunate.
if like Giant Bomb did because they're like small,
Yeah.
but like GameSpot did and everything kind of under them.
What sucks is like a lot of those guys, I don't really know what you're gonna do, you know. It's like
Start your own thing.
exactly, that's really your only option. You know, it's
Like
like I don't
everyone's getting laid off. Like IGN had layoffs. Like
right.
it's like no one's
Yeah, like
safe.
good luck finding more work in that field, you know, like in that same type of environment. I don't there aren't any, like they're dying, you know, so it's just like
Yeah.
you're kind of left to go on YouTube by yourself, and good luck, then you're in the rat race, you know. Like then you're competing with a million other people.
I mean, that's pretty much all it's going to be, I think. I don't think like traditional media like that, like we used to watch back in the day, is just how people consume things, really.
Yeah, like I think if you're like a real journalist, like doing actual real journalism work, there's like very few of those in games media space nowadays. I think those people would be fine, and those people would be able to find stuff. But if you're not like one of those, I don't know, man. It's rough out there.
For sure. And like most people are just like going to like leakers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of fun.
exactly. Yeah, especially nowadays, right? It's like I don't. People get like half a rumor for some bullshit Twitter page and then run with that, you know, and then Reddit will explode with that nowadays, you know, and like
Yeah.
won't even be true. And so it's like even real journalism, like look seeping through the cracks there of what's real, what's not, all that
Yeah. It's it's a mess.
for sure. All right, well, let's talk about another mess. Uh, First up, then, Sony has shut down Firewalk Studios and Neon Koi. This will result in about 210 lost jobs between the two. Daniel, of course, Firewalk Studios, the makers of Concord, came out earlier this year to little fan reception, little to no
That's-
fan reception.
I was
Yes.
that's generous.
I'm being generous there, and it seems like Sony has decided to pull the plug on the entire studio, shutting them down. Neon Koi was the PlayStation Mobile studio, which got renamed not that long ago. Might have even been earlier this year. I can't remember, but maybe late
within the
last
past
year. Yeah, it ended up getting renamed and kind of reshuffled the whole studio just in general. I know there was some the leads left. They brought some new leads in. It seems like they were making some sort of action adventure game for mobile devices, and it is no more. And so yeah, two more PlayStation studios getting shut down this year. We've got 3 in total that they shut down this year, including PlayStation London studios
Yeah.
got shut down earlier this year. So yeah, PlayStation has, on top of the layoffs, has nicked 3 entire teams this year. So any direction you want to take this conversation, Daniel?
I mean, I guess we should start with the bigger one, Firewalk, but it's like, man, PlayStation's doing well in a lot of ways, but they're also like, this is probably the biggest like blunder in terms of money spent, other than like them kind of slipping a little with Bungie there, like spending so much for Bungie. But I don't know, like it was, I forget the budget of the game, but buying them was like supposedly $200 million to buy them with like an unproven IP and an unproven game and a new studio. I just, it was a huge miss. Like, I don't know if shutting them down was the right thing to do. Like, guess to just eat their losses, but I don't know. I guess you could have got them to do anything, you know, be a support studio, anything. Like, is it really not worth it to keep them?
Hmm.
Especially Firewalk. I don't know, unless like especially Firewalk, like being console focused. Neon Koi is like maybe they're just not gonna get that much into mobile, so they're like, let's just axe them. But with like console stuff, like having a support studio seems like a good idea. I don't know.
That'd be the question though, is like, do they want to be a support studio? You know, is what
That's true.
what ends up happening is if you make them a sports studio, does everyone then just leave? You know, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, no one's happy. These guys wanting to create something and everyone just leaves. So what was the point? And then also the question would be, is it cheaper to just outsource the support you would need for your other studios?
That's
Probably
true.
is, right? You don't got to
Yeah.
pay for the building, you don't got to pay for health insurance, all of that stuff, right? It's like, yes, you still have to pay the workers to then support your game, but you're getting rid of multiple other different payments. I don't know, man. It really is just a complete mess. Whoever thought this was going to work is, I mean, like, you can point the fingers at so many people, and there are a lot of people to blame. Sony execs, certainly, you can blame them. The people that approved this game in the first place, I know the studio was owned by some parent company beforehand. I forget the name, Monsters something. I can't remember. But they were the ones that originally greenlit the game under their company before Sony came in and bought them and took it away. And then, of course, the creatives at Firewalk that came up with the idea in the first place, right? It's like, you know, they're to blame too, unfortunately. It's like, it seems like Concord was an okay game, you know, didn't it?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was great, but like, it didn't seem like it was necessarily like, oh, this game's just complete and utter trash. You know, that didn't seem like what the problem was. It wasn't like this is one of those like shitty games you see on Steam that like are just complete broken mess, and I don't know, for whatever reason you end up hearing about them. It seems like they came out and they made like a decent game, and it's just unfortunate that in this multiplayer landscape of today, a decent game isn't going to get you fucking anywhere. You know,
No.
and
People only have so much time to play stuff.
right, and then you're trying to pry the people that do play these types of games away from the games they're currently playing, right? Which is just extremely hard to do, right? It's like there's that thing that came out earlier this year that, what was it, like 60% of, or whatever, it might have been like 6 of the top 10 games are more than 7 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what
Everyone's
I'm talking
playing
about, though.
games they've been playing for years and
Right.
years. And years.
Everyone is playing very older games, so it is clearly very hard to pry people away from the games they're currently playing, because they just don't. And like, even me and you, we know people in their day-to-day lives like that just play multiplayer games, and they're just like, yeah, they're playing Call of Duty and Madden, but like they're also playing Rainbow Six Siege, which is however many years old now. What is that, 10 years old now or whatever? Or Fortnite, which is 10 years old now. Apex, right, exactly. And the list goes on and on with those games, and it's just become destiny. It becomes impossible to pry people away from those type of things because they already have these types of experiences. And then when we all see Concord, we can all see right away that this isn't gonna work, because it looks bland, right?
Yeah.
Just the aesthetic of it, the atmosphere of it, the way it looks, it's just a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff.
It wasn't super like enticing just looking at it.
Right. It's not drawing anyone in. It wasn't drawing people like me in. It wasn't drawing PlayStation fans in, and it certainly wasn't drawing in the audience you want, which was Overwatch fans, right? Yeah. It certainly wasn't drawing those people in. And so then this thing comes out and it gets approximately 25,000 sales, which is just
apparently that's generous.
That is, it cannot be understated how abysmal that is in the AAA landscape. That is so bad. I mean, dude, we talk about like Square Enix complaining about their games week after week, right?
Those are million sellers.
Those are million sellers, right? Like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so what, probably 2 or 3 million copies or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, oh man, that was a real disappointment for us. Okay, cut that, divide that by the tens, you know, or whatever. Think of that, it's 25,000. And this game apparently cost more than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth probably did, you know? So it's just, so with all that, I'm not surprised that PlayStation shut them down after, you know? It's just like, this wasn't just a regular, oh, this game came out, didn't hit well at all, and we didn't end up making a profit. This was a complete embarrassment for PlayStation. How bad. This is one of the worst performances of a game in the AAA landscape, period.
I mean, name one more.
Right. Worst. Right. You can't even really think
I think we could pretty definitively say it's the biggest AAA blunder any like first party manufacturer has ever put out. I don't think you can name one that is even
it'd be such a struggle to think of another one. You know,
I can name a few that didn't hit, like what's the arcane game that got Arcane Austin shut down.
Redfall.
The Vampire Redfall didn't hit hard. And sure, it sold much better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
had a bigger audience than this ever did.
Yeah.
Off the bat, you know,
off the bat.
which was also a new IP.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just yeah. I mean, you get here and they shut down the studio, and yeah, I'm not surprised. It's very unfortunate about the lost jobs, but it's just, you know, it is what it is at this point. It's very unfortunate across the board, but yeah, I don't know. I know there's some thought out there that maybe they bring it back in a free to play model. It's just the game is already looked at as a joke, you know. Like, and no one that's ever heard of Concord at this point doesn't think it's an absolute joke.
I will give credence to that though, because they were. Did you see that they were getting like soft updates on Steam? So it seemed like maybe that they were at least trying to do things and continue the game in some way for people that were playing the game, even if it was not that many. There were someone was still playing the game, and even if just a little bit. But hey, I guess they just felt like they needed to cut the loss.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that would have cost money too to put it back online. You know, you still got to pay the workers and all that,
and the people to be doing it. Yeah,
right. And so it's, I don't know, it just would have ended up being more of a money sink if you did bring it back online. So yeah, ultimately, I'm not surprised that they shut the studio down. It's very unfortunate on the lost jobs, but yeah, like I said, is what it is at this point.
Yeah, it's very sad. Now, Neon Koi is very interesting because I don't know if you read it the same way I do. Does this just seem like maybe Sony's just not, or PlayStation's just not really looking to dip their toes into mobile on their own, and they just kind of like start working with people more that are doing mobile, like the MiHoYo stuff, you know, like their mobile and console. Like, is that kind of the vibe you get too, or do you think that maybe they're still committed to mobile or not?
In this letter from Herman Host, he says, while mobile remains a priority growth area for the studio's business, we are in the very early stages of our mobile effort. To achieve success in this area, we need to concentrate on titles that are in line with PlayStation Studios' pedigree and have the potential to reach more players globally. So, like, clearly are still somewhat interested in mobile. Yeah, maybe the idea just wasn't, you know, let's back out of doing a first-party mobile studio, you know, maybe that's the plan there. Maybe whatever their project was they were working on just really wasn't coming to fruition. I mean, obviously, that's had rocky development, whatever's been going on at that studio with all the leads leaving a couple years ago or whatever, and the new leads coming in to run the studio. Obviously, it was having rocky development. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess just back out of it in the first-party side and then, yeah, team up with other third-party studios. I mean, there's got to be tons of other studios you can team up with on the mobile end.
It just clicked on me. They're already doing that right now with Destiny.
Yeah, you're right.
Whatever that name of that Destiny mobile game is, that's supposed to come out next year.
Rising.
Yeah, that's worked on by, I forget what studio that is. That's doing that.
Was it NetEase?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. NetEase is doing like the primary development, and Bungie's just kind of like assisting them. But like that's perfect. That seems to be what they're maybe trying to do. We'll just outsource, and then if we need to support, we'll support. Get our IPs out there. Yeah, even though like Bungie's a different take. It's not like main, I guess, PlayStation Studios stuff. It is kind of Bungie's still kind of separate.
Yeah, I know a lot of people argue they should be doing that on the live service multiplayer front, is using their IPs on that front. I don't necessarily think that's a great idea, personally. It depends who's making them, right? Like, I don't want Naughty Dog making the multiplayer game. I don't want
think it would lower the quality of those IPs? Is that what you see?
It possibly, right? Like, and I think that's how Naughty Dog looks at it, is like, that's why the multiplayer game got canned. Because if we let a third-party studio work on it and it's not up to snuff, it's not a great game like a Naughty Dog game traditionally would be, then that
see their logo,
our reputation as a studio entirely, right? Especially if you add in like hella bad transactions and all that, and then people start to hate you and they start to blame Naughty Dog for all that. Like,
they might hate the next game.
Right. Last of Us Part 3 gets announced and people are like, oh, fuck Naughty Dog. They made me pay fucking $80 for a fucking Ellie to do an emote or whatever the fuck, you know?
Ellie to do the Orange Justice.
Yeah. You know, so
Imagine her doing orchestra.
and that is how people think, you know, like I don't, you bring up certain developers to certain people, they're like, oh fuck them, you know. Look at EA, for example. You can't even talk about EA with normal people without people saying that.
Are you saying, Connor, are you saying you do not want to see Kratos do the Crip Walk? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I kind of do. Pretty good in Fortnite. Uh, but I do think they should use their IP on the mobile front, right? Like I think you can get away with that more, right? Like
Sure.
I mean the old Uncharted skin on Temple Run is a good idea, right? Because no one necessarily would associate that with Naughty Dog then, that game, but you are able to then use your IP to sell that game for whatever, I don't know, $9.99 or whatever the fuck on mobile devices, and you're able to push and market that way. I think that's a better idea than using it in a big live service multiplayer game.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to, like, at this point. They don't have any other mobile studio, do they? Like
No,
that,
I
this
don't.
was
I
it.
don't think
So
so.
at
Yeah, I
least
think
first
this was
party,
it. Yeah,
right? So they're gonna have to like start working with people. But if they really smart about it and they try to get ahead of it, like they try to start working with the people that make mobile games that people like.
yeah,
Like I'm not sure if Monument Valley 3 came out yet, but that's at least 1 and 2 are really respected mobile games, puzzle mobile games. Like work with that team. Say,
sure,
hey, do you want to make a game with us? Maybe you
something
could
like
use an
that.
IP, or work with any of those, like Clash of Clans. Oh no, that's King. Never mind. You can't be working with King. That's
Mobile
Xbox.
games now too are. I mean, they're just a bit different from how I still perceive them. You know, where
Sure.
they are more like real games. Like, or at least they're becoming more and more like real games. You look at Call of Duty online, right? That is even that Destiny game. That does look like Destiny, sort
It's
of,
more of a
right?
game. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's not necessarily that you got to make some shitty little dollar game and then put it on mobile devices. You can make like an actual game and put it on there, and I guess people are playing it. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the
Again, I'm not.
MiHoYo stuff, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't mean
like
you.
Genshin and
I know we're not the audience for that, so I don't really know what people want on a mobile front. But it's just, I mean, you still want the quick, hey, get in there quick, play a match or whatever, and then get out, because that's what mobile devices are good for, right? You got 5 minutes, you're waiting for something, and you can play a match real quick.
do
So
your
it's still gonna have
dailies
to,
or whatever.
right? It's still gonna have to all revolve around just like quick games, but yeah, I don't know. They are a bit different from than how I think of them, like the Temple Run still and stuff like that. But so I don't really know what a mobile audience necessarily wants. But I would, if I'm PlayStation, use my IP and then, like
Yeah,
you're saying,
what would you
send
want
it
from a
out
mobile
to.
God of War?
Yeah, see, that's a good
You know,
question. I have
like
no idea what that would look like. You know, I really don't. It's like I would say I don't want it,
I mean,
but like
is that their biggest IP right now?
God of
Maybe
War.
Uncharted.
Last of Us is up there, especially after the TV show.
Maybe Last of Us, Uncharted, and God of War.
I don't even know if
Horizon.
Uncharted's up there anymore. You know?
No, I had
Yeah.
the movie. It's kind of why.
Yeah, it did have the movie. The movie was big, but it wasn't like super big. Again,
No,
that
but
released it in COVID times too, so it really didn't get
yeah.
a fair shot, that movie. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Uncharted is up there still. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I mean, God of War, Last of Us, Horizon is up there, man. Like it does sell
That's why.
a
Yeah, that's
fuck
what I'm
ton.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It might be those three in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
So like, so like God of War, it's like, what would you even want for a mobile game for God of War? It's like,
I really don't know. Yeah, that's a tough
it's
one.
yeah. Horizon, I think you could do. It's a little bit more flexible than God of
Horizon,
War.
it's just I mean, the Monster Hunter thing gets constantly thrown out there with Horizon, right? And I guess is there a Monster Hunter mobile thing? That must exist, right?
There might be
It
something
might not be
similar.
very popular, but like that must
Yeah.
exist.
See, I was thinking more of like do like a Horizon Genshin Impact type
Yeah,
game
yeah.
where you can just get in characters and you have an open world and
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Do something like that with Horizon. That would fit a little
That
bit
makes
more. You
sense,
can't do
yeah.
that with God of War.
Right. Yeah, I don't. God of War and Last of Us in particular are hard to think of what you would do in the mobile space, but I don't know. That's why you give it to the studios, right? And say, hey, what would you guys do? And then let the creatives over there figure it out, right? So
Yeah. Maybe like do a God of War card game
yeah,
where you can have the different gods be cards or something.
yeah, that's a
I don't
great
know.
idea, right? Something like that. Yeah, something outside the box like that,
Yeah,
right?
that isn't
Yeah,
just you Kratos hitting things with an axe on
right.
mobile.
Give me the old sex mini games from the old God of
Oh
War
my God.
games. This is
Just tap your phone.
yeah, yeah. Those are hilarious. You had to like spin the joystick.
Oh my God.
Good times. So yeah, and Neo Koi, I am more surprised they shut down. I figured they would
Yeah.
at least just, you know, look at Nixus, right? Nixus is just shitting stuff out left and right. they're just
They're just a
constantly
support
working
studio,
on
yeah.
stuff.
So
Yeah,
they do support work, don't they too? They're not just support, or
yeah.
not just a port.
No, I
studio?
mean, they're doing all the ports to PC. They headed up that Horizon remaster. They're just doing shit. You know, that's kind of what I figured Neon Koi would be doing. Just you guys are just doing shit. You guys are just constantly making shit. I just want a new game every like 6 months. You know, some new little mobile game or whatever based on one of the PlayStation's IPs. That's what I would have had them doing, but I guess that wasn't working out either. So yeah, unfortunate. Back to the whole Concord live service situation.
Yeah.
How do we think this impacts Haven Studios with what's the game? What is it called?
Fair Games.
Fair Games. I want to say Fire Games.
With a money sign.
Right. Don't forget
Can't
the money sign.
You cannot forget that money sign,
cannot.
Connor. Look at me, Connor. It has a money sign on it.
What the fuck a money sign?
Don't forget it.
I just imagine like some interns writing the title, the exec standing over the top, but he's like,
"You're fired."
What the fuck is that? The shit out of my sight.
We got
Fair Games in the same boat, right? Had the short teaser trailer at the same state of play.
People were more reception for that.
Exactly. They were harder, really, because I think that people were harder on Fair Games than they were at Concord in that initial thing. Like, at least we got that cool looking burger from the Concord teaser trailer.
You at least got character looks,
right? Fair Games just looked. Fair Games just looked. I don't know. It looked like teen punk rock to me, where I'm like, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's just how it came across to me, but I was like, I don't know. That
I wasn't
disgusting.
Crazy about either one, but like I guess at least the CG trailer showed more.
But nonetheless, I think in the same boat where it's kind of a joke at the moment.
I think honestly more. I think yes, but I think more people just forgot about it. And I think we also have to just be real. There's no way that studio doesn't have pressure on it.
Oh, 100%.
There's just no way.
Especially now.
And especially now.
I mean, dude, you got to be so disheartened right now if you're working at Haven.
For sure.
Like, these guys came out, and within, 3 months, their entire studio, their job is lost. Their entire studio is closed down within 3 months of the game release.
This may be a little naive on my part, this first part. I don't see them shutting this studio down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it doesn't succeed. I just don't think they could just keep doing that. That's going to set a big precedent for PlayStation. I don't think they could do that. And then number two, I think with Haven as just a studio in general is a little different because they have a bigger name attached to that studio, even if she's just a producer. Like the fact that Jade Raymond is there, that's at least more, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, gravitas to that studio. Like, having that team and people that worked on Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs that went with her. So, like, I think that there's a little bit more going behind that studio than what it was with Firewalk.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a big, like, technology element from that studio as well, right?
Whatever engine they're working on?
Yeah, that, like, really intrigued PlayStation. There was, like, a big element there that, like, they have, like, some sort of technology working on the multiplayer landscape or whatever. I don't know. I can't even remember what it was exactly, but there was something more than just the game and just the studio that was coming along with that studio. So I do kind of agree with you. I don't know, man. They really got to figure out how to market that game correctly when we do reveal it, and then just have it ready to go with content. And then should they be looking at free to play? You know, I mean, that's the big question here. Is like, was that really the thing that like put the final nail in the coffin on Concord ever having a chance? It was not being free to play.
I'm going to throw a curveball to you because I think they're already doing that. And that's with another extraction shooter that they're about to put out too, which is Marathon. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to look at both these games, they're both supposedly extraction shooters. And Destiny technically is free to play right now. Like, you could pay for the big expansions, but the game itself is like free to play. Right. Like, you could do things in the game. So I'm assuming Bungie's they're already working with free to play. I'm assuming Bungie's thinking about making Marathon free to play. But I have no, there's no like concrete evidence of that right now. So yeah, what are they going to do with Fair Games? If Marathon, if we'll just say is free to play, is Fair Games, they're going to charge $40, just like Helldivers and Concord?
Yeah.
Then that you're just setting it out to die as well.
Yeah. It's such a and I wonder if that's what gives them a false perception of it is Helldivers, because that game did sell so well. Yeah, because that game did succeed. And it seemed like even PlayStation before that game was coming out didn't think it was going to succeed,
There's very
especially
little
the way
marketing.
it did. You know, I don't think anyone thought it was going to succeed the way it did. But like, I don't think PlayStation thought. I think if anything, they thought the rules would be switched here with Concord and
Probably.
Helldivers, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
that PC launch really helped that game.
right, 100%. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of things that really helped that game, but Concord on PC too, right? So it's
You're right. It was on
yeah,
PC.
it's in Fair Games, of course. I'd imagine. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but I'd imagine it's gonna launch day one on
assume
PC.
so.
It's gonna have to, right? Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's Fair Games. 100%. You guys got to come out free to play. That's just the way,
Especially if Marathon is.
the way world is right now. Marathon, I think you can get away with charging the 40 or whatever because
It's
of Bungie. Exactly. Yeah, that Bungie name will be able to sell some certain people. I will go out and buy it just to check it out because
If it's
Bungie.
just a premium Bungie product, yeah.
Right. If it's like, hey, $40, but hey, it's a Bungie game. So I will 100% buy that. You know what I mean? Just because I know Bungie, I know their pedigree, I know how good they are, and I want to check out whatever they do, right? And I think there's a lot of people out there like that, a lot of Halo fans. And stuff
I mean, they
like
have
that.
history. They've been around
Right.
for so long.
And plus, Marathon has the added benefit. It's going to be on everything, you know? It's going to be on Xbox. It's going to be on... I wonder if Switch 2 is on the table for all these things, too. You know, is Switch 2...
You have to assume they're looking at it, right?
Right.
Especially with that Lego Horizon game being on Switch.
Yeah, 100%, right? The doors are already knocked down there, you know?
Yeah.
I could see PlayStation adding more things to Switch 2, especially if the console is able to run it, right? I just think...
Isn't it a weird way, as PlayStation is, like, they're not dumb.
Right.
They're making some bad decisions right now, but they're not dumb. They see how the attachment rate is on the Switch, right?
Even
They
the live
see
service thing in general, it's not dumb to go after that. In fact, I think they
No, there's
have
a lot
to
of
go
money there.
after that. Right, exactly. It's like you guys need one of those. It's just like Concord was just such a drop, you know, like it was just such an abysmal launch and just such low player count that I don't think anyone expected it to come out that low, and I don't blame them for that. It's like they do kind of just have to throw shit at the wall here and see what sticks in the live service realm, but you're gonna take your hits and miss.
I mean, they took a hit with Last of Us.
Right,
well.
exactly. You know, it's like they're losing a ton of money on this live service initiative, and I don't know.
That's the name of the live service game.
Right.
To be honest, they're losing money with Bungie and Bungie and that whole like Destiny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really making a lot there too. So
that
like,
Spider-Man
$3
multiplayer
billion.
game that got canceled. Who knows how many millions were put into that? It's that Twisted Metal game apparently got canceled. Who knows how many millions were put into that? They're
I
just,
mean, PlayStation All Stars.
Yep. PlayStation All Stars certainly didn't make them any more stars. Oh yeah. Oh, PlayStation All Stars too. You can go way back.
That was I meant Destruction All Stars. That was like the first big one, right?
Right. Yeah.
That didn't really do anything for them. Yeah, it's PlayStation's already been a very weird multiplayer studio, anyways, or like publisher, anyways. Like they've never really hit super hard. Maybe like SOCOM is kind of like their big thing.
Yeah. I mean, Killzone 2 had like a moment. You know, not a big one, especially competing with Halo and COD at that time. But you know, I do remember people talking about Killzone 2, so like maybe that was up there a little bit. But like even that, I mean, that's
wasn't doing any Halo numbers.
That's what, almost two decades ago at this point. You know, too.
Yeah.
So it's just like as of recently, nothing. You know, it's just I don't know, man. It's maybe Herman can figure something out here on the live service front. You know, it's he did just become president, and we are still seeing the fruition of all Jim Ryan's decisions here with Concord and Fair Games and Bungie and all that still. So I don't know, maybe they can end up turning things around here. I wouldn't be surprised if they just end up dipping out of it, especially if Fair Games completely bombs. You know, maybe you just keep Bungie going with what they do, and
Bungie,
hopefully
and,
Bungie can end up turning it around.
And Gran Turismo.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, MLB, right? MLB does something multiplayer wise, I'd imagine, right? So I mean, they just rely on those, and then just go back to heavily marketing the third-party games.
Play Fortnite here, play Apex here.
Exactly, new Battlefield. Hey, new Battlefield. We're getting the marketing rights with. You know, you 100% got to do that. Exactly, you 100% got to do that now, right?
They have to go after Battlefield, probably.
Yeah, you got to do that. It's a GTA. GTA is going to be a huge one for PlayStation.
I mean, they need to.
They need to lock down the fucking marketing.
Whoever locks GTA's marketing is going to be a big deal for next year.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if Rockstar doesn't lock down with either of them because they don't need them. You know, and
I mean, they're Rockstar. They're going to put that trail. The next trailer is just going to come out with no other
break records and all that shit, right?
Break records. No
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah, and if it does launch next year, I mean, they will have the thing to claim, hey, we have the best place to play GTA 6 with the PS5 Pro. So, oh, you froze a little bit. Think back. See you moving. This is a jump scare, people. People are about to scare me because it's Halloween. Oh, I see you moving now. Hi.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're back.
And if it doesn't, what?
What were we talking about?
GTA making a lot of money, marketing,
Oh.
rights, Battlefield.
What was I saying?
You said if it doesn't, something.
I don't know where I was going.
Stupid internet.
Lost it. It's gone. It's gone. Forever
Yeah,
now.
PlayStation needs to like find things in the multiplayer, like work with other
Yeah.
people. I think at this point, and maybe I guess keep seeing what works, but that they're gonna know they're gonna have to eat a lot of money. And PlayStation is just, yeah, they're huge. They make a lot of money in the games industry, but they don't have the backing to eat that much money. They
Yeah.
have to be smart with how they do it.
And I keep going back to this, but I just think their hardcore fan base doesn't even want these live service games to begin with. Hardcore PlayStation players, we don't even want you guys making live service multiplayer games. Like most of us just want your traditional third-person over-the-shoulder RPG / action adventure games, right? That's kind of all I want personally. Like I don't even fucking care about these other things. Like I understand you have to get out there and make other things and diverse your portfolio, and then also try to dip your toes in the live service realm so that hopefully you can get a big hit like a Fortnite or something like that, and then you can fund all the other projects that way because you'll be making so much money through the live service thing that it won't even fucking matter, that you can throw however much money at the single player story driven games that I like, right? And if that's the idea,
and the biggest problem is they take all those big.
Froze again. What's going on with the internet? I'm assuming Daniel was gonna say all those big AAA single player story driven games take a long time to make, which they certainly do. Taking 5 to 6 years at this point, development time, which is not good. Takes a very long time. I could just copy Daniel in the looks like Daniel's trying to force choke me right now. See if he comes back in a minute here. I wonder if it's my internet or his. I'm going super well here. Oh,
Hey, there you are.
hello. Hello.
What is up with your internet?
Is it mine?
It's definitely your internet.
Is it mine? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was mine. Yeah, apologies. It is windy outside. I wonder if something's going on there. It's funny because you looked like you were force choking me, and I pretended I was getting force choked. All right. Yeah, I think you were saying that at least where the OBS caught you from your last point was that these games take a long time to make. Oh, you froze again. You got to be kidding me. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, people. We technical difficulties.
Connor's about to fly away.
My roof just comes off. Fucking shit, man. It's weird because it was like oddly warm out this last week, and now the temperature's just dropping, and it's super windy.
So yeah, the hurricane tried to take me out,
Right.
and now like the
Aim
winds
for
are
me.
trying to kill you.
Yeah. Goddamn weather. Can't do it. Global warming. I blame our grandparents. All right, we'll just continue on with the next news story then. We'll try to run through these really quick since we got too much time left. Real quick then, Marvel Wolverine's creative director is leaving Insomniac and joining the initiative to now be the creative lead for the Perfect Dark reboot. Now the two leads behind Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart will now lead up Marvel's Wolverine. Daniel, a lot of shakeups going on over at Insomniac.
I thought this was a weird story.
Yeah, very odd. You know what's weird about it too is like, didn't the initiative start with someone from Insomniac?
One of the heads, yeah. Well, the other head was the guy from Crystal Dynamics, but then the other guy was from one of the other guys was from Insomniac. I
Okay.
can't remember his. It's a Gallagher, right? Or no, Gallagher's from Crystal Dynamics. I forget the other guy's name from Insomniac, but you're right. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I thought this was just weird, just because. So this guy, like, I'll put in quotes because I don't want this to sound too harsh. He quit his job and immediately had another job.
Yeah.
It's like that just seems odd to me. Like, you're working on a pretty big project and you immediately leave and find another job at another big game and another big studio immediately like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, they cited creative decisions are the reason he's leaving. So I wonder if the game just wasn't going the direction he wanted, and then he got a bigger pay bump somewhere else, or started looking for other jobs. And Initiative was like,
A little
oh, well,
animosity.
right,
Start
hey,
looking.
hey, we'll pay you however much to come over here and creatively this game, right? Took money and
Because
ran.
that studio is in Santa Monica, the Initiative,
Yeah,
right?
I'd imagine they're very close to each other, the
Yeah.
Insomniac one and this one. So he was probably like, oh shit, I'll just go down the street then, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, what does that mean for, I guess, number one? What does that mean for Wolverine? And then number two, what does that mean for Perfect Dark? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, very
I,
odd to me with both of those games because it's like, okay, creatively leaving. Clearly, Wolverine is not going. The development has not been going smoothly with how early that game got
they
announced.
keep pushing it.
And
Yeah.
they keep pushing it, right? And the latest Insomniac leaks had that game slated for 2026. Who knows if that's still the case now, right?
Perfect Dark, probably about the same year though, but we've seen more.
Yeah, Perfect Dark is also weird to me because it's like, well, we just saw a big chunk of gameplay, and you guys didn't have a creative lead going on there. Like, how's that? That's a little odd to me.
It's odd, but watching the Scythe Odyssey documentary, I understand.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
game
Obviously, all
there was a
games made
huge chunk of time when
differently.
they didn't have a creative lead.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like people are still working on things, even if they don't have the someone there to bring it all together.
It just sounds like such an important role, a
It
creative
is.
lead, you know? And it's like, you guys are. It's just baffling to me that you can even work on the game without a creative lead, you know? It's like, what are you guys creating? And how do you know? Do you need someone to lead you in the process that way? Obviously, all games made different. Video game making is very complicated. So, you know, I'm not pretending that I know the ins and outs of games development because I don't. But yeah, it does seem very odd to me on both ends. Perfect Dark, not so much. The Wolverine game, yeah, that's clearly something to be concerned about, especially leaving this far into a game that's supposed to be out in 2 years, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, in Perfect Dark, we really don't have a timeline. They're kind of like they were trying to find a new direction for it, so
Right.
that's what he's going to be helping with, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and I wonder if it's just more like design, mission structured for the creative lead, like how that's all gonna work and stuff like that. Yeah, because that game looked fucking awesome
Yeah,
from what they
it
showed.
looks super cool.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you got to make a good game around all those elements, right? But obviously, it looks like it's going to play very well and be very fun. But yeah, you got to make good mission structure, good mission design, and all that stuff too. So yeah, I'd imagine that would be what they're heading up more over there. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait for both of these things. Hopefully, they work out well. Not too much concern over the two Ratchet and Clank guys now leading up this game. It's like good, okay. Probably two long-time
proven.
Insomniac veterans that are proven in the industry as well. So good. Hopefully they just have a stable plan now, and they can really just
And they can
work
move
on
on.
finishing up this Wolverine game.
Yeah. And then they can move on to like Ratchet again, please. Make another Ratchet game for me.
Maybe.
Please.
Yeah, that actually got pushed off to 2039 now.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll be dead by then.
Yeah.
Which would be
I
great.
can only hope.
Please. All right. We'll move on then. Quick one. Red Barrels is teaming up with Lionsgate to make a live action Outlast movie. The game's primary writer will also be working on the script for the game. So there you go.
Certain info on, like, is it a like they're doing the first game?
Oh no, we're doing this again. This goddamn win. We're gonna have to just wrap this up, I think, guys. Call it an episode. Yeah. Okay. Daniel's frozen. We're gonna call it here. That's gonna be it. Yeah, sorry about the technical issues, everybody. That'll do it for the Nerd Gods podcast, episode a weird episode 247. Yeah, that's the correct episode number. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please remember to subscribe to us over at youtube.com/nerdicause. We're also available on all audio platforms. Catch us over there. I think next week will be better. See you then, guys.